Yamslam. It is a Yahtzee-style dice rolling game for 1 to 4 players. It takes around 15 minutes to play. I have both the travel version and the regular version. For the purposes of this walkthrough, I'm going to use the regular version. Okay, so if we open this up, the game comes with 5 dice. There are 7 different types of chips, each worth a different amount of points. The goal of the game is to be the player with the most points at the end of the game. The game ends when somebody has collected the final chip. Now for setup, you just simply want to make sure all the chips are in their proper place and grouped together. Have everybody roll 1 die, and whoever rolls the highest will be the player to go first. Okay, on your turn, you will be rolling these 5 dice. You roll them 3 times. And at the end of your third roll, hopefully you will be able to collect one of these chips. Now, just like in Yahtzee, on your first and second roll, you can set aside any die that you might want to save depending on which chip you're trying to go after, trying to collect. So now I will show you an example of what all these chips mean and what you have to roll to collect them. Okay, so to collect a 2 pair, you simply have to have 2 of one number and 2 of another number. For example, 2 2s, 2 3s, or it could be 2 3s, 2 5s. Just as long as you have 2 pairs of numbers at the end of your third roll, you will then collect a 2 pair. To collect a 3 of a kind, you simply have to have 3 of any number at the end of your 3 rolls. It could be 3 2s, 3 4s, pretty self-explanatory. A small straight is going to be a sequence of 4 numbers in numerical order. 1 2 3 4. Another example would be 2 3 4 5, or you could get 3 4 5 6. As long as it's a sequence of 4 numbers in numerical order, you will then collect a small straight at the end of your 3 rolls. To collect a flush, you simply have to have all 5 dice showing the same color, either all red or all black. Does not matter what numbers you roll as long as it is all one color. To collect a full house, you have to have 3 of any number and 2 of any number. So in my example here, 3 6s, 2 5s, or it could be 2 3s, 3 2s. As long as you have 3 of one number and 2 of another number, you will collect a full house. A 4 of a kind is simply 4 of any number. So at the end of your 3 rolls, as long as you have 4 of any number, you will then collect a 4 of a kind. Here we have the final chip, the large straight. It is the most difficult chip to collect, but is also worth the most points. To collect a large straight, you have to have all 5 dice in numerical order at the end of your 3 rolls. So there are only 2 ways to collect this chip. You either have to have 1 2 3 4 5 or 2 3 4 5 6. You roll that by the end of your 3rd roll and you will collect a large straight. The best possible roll in the game is called a Yamslam, and that is when you roll all 5 dice the same number. In my example here, they are all 3s. If you roll a Yamslam, you are then able to collect any chip that is still available, or if a chip has been discarded, you can collect that chip, and I'll talk about that in just a little while. Also, when you roll a Yamslam, you will immediately get to take another turn. So it is definitely a good strategy to try to go for that, but the chances of getting it are pretty low. So here's how a turn typically goes. You're going to roll the dice, and you're going to kind of look at what you roll on your first roll and look at the chips that are still available. So already I have a 3 of a kind, so I could stop here on my first roll and take a 3 of a kind, but I still have 2 more rolls left, so I might as well go for a 4 of a kind or even maybe a Yamslam. So I'm going to roll again. Now at this point I could either take a flush, because remember a flush is all one color, or I could stop on my second roll and take a 3 of a kind. Now if I were going to stop on my second roll, of course I would take a flush because it's worth more points. I'm going to try again because I have 1 more roll. Okay, so that doesn't benefit me any, but I'm able to collect a 3 of a kind. And when you collect a chip, lay it down in front of you and keep your chips in numerical order so all the other players can keep track of what chips have been collected and how many. So after your third roll, or whatever roll you decide to stop on, once you've collected or not collected a chip, the turn order will go clockwise and it will be the next player's turn. Now there is one thing to talk about. If it goes all the way around and everybody does not collect a chip, meaning at the end of their third roll they don't roll anything that enables them to collect a chip, then at that point you discard the chip of the highest point value and you set it to the side. Okay, so that happens, and once again that happens if you go an entire round without anybody collecting a chip. The only way to collect that discarded chip is to roll a Yamslam, which, as a reminder, is all the same number. 5 die, same number. Now let's run through a few mock turns here. So I'm player A. Okay. Okay, let's see. Not a really good roll, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to set aside these 2 3s and try to go for a 3 of a kind or a 4 of a kind. So I'm going to re-roll these. This is my second roll. Still not very good, so I have one more roll. And I got a 2 pair because I have 2 3s and 2 2s, so I'm going to collect a 2 pair. Now it's player B's turn. Okay, so right here I already have a 2 pair, but I'm going to keep going because I could get a flush if I roll another red, or if I roll a 4 or a 2 I could get a full house. So let's see what happens. Second roll. Okay, third roll. Okay, so player B also gets a 2 pair. Alright, player C. Okay, player C is also going to try to go for a full house. And there we go. So player C has rolled 3 2s and 2 1s. Player C collects a full house worth 30 points. And it keeps going like that until the last chip has been collected. Now at the end of the game there are several ways to collect bonus points. And one of the easiest ways to collect a bonus point is if you collect the final chip. So right here, let's say I'm at the end of my 3 rolls and I've rolled 3 3s. So I'm then going to collect the final chip, which is the 3 of a kind chip. For collecting the final chip, you will get 20 bonus points at the end of the game. Another way to get bonus points at the end of the game is called a full stack. There are 4 of each chip. If at the end of the game you have collected all 4 of any certain type of chip, for example all 4 of the 3 of a kinds, you will get 30 points, 30 extra points, and that's 30 points for every full stack that you collect at the end of the game. Another way to get bonus points is called a silver 6. A silver 6 is when you have collected 6 different chips. For collecting a silver 6 you will get 20 bonus points at the end of the game. And finally, the most lucrative bonus that you can get is called a golden 7. A golden 7 means you have collected 1 of each different chip. 50 bonus points at the end of the game. So let's talk about scoring at the end of the game. So right here we have player A's final chip collection. Player A has obtained 3 different bonuses. Player A collected the final chip, which is worth 20 bonus points. Player A collected a full stack, which is worth 30 bonus points. And player A collected 6 different chips, which is worth 20 bonus points. So player A ended up with 70 bonus points total. Once you add up all the chips and add up your bonus points, you will get your final score. In this example, player A's final score will be 330 points. Compare that to the other players. Whoever has the highest score is the winner.